Good afternoon and welcome to Car Porn Junkie. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Derek Miller. And whether you're tuning in to listen to my accent and make fun of it, or you really want to pick up some great car knowledge, either way is great with me. Please smash the subscribe button. There will be future videos to come. But today we're going to do a video on a 2012 Dodge Charger SRT 8. Now, before we jump into this car in particular, let's give a little history lesson into the SRT line of when it becomes the Chargers. So the Charger SRT 8 came out in 2007. Came out with a 6.1 liter, making 425 horsepower and 420 pound-feet of torque. Car weighed at I think 4,160 pounds. 0 to 60 in 4.8 seconds, and the quarter mile in 13.6 or 13.8. And that all depends on which magazine you read, whether it be Motor Trend, Car and Driver, Road and Track, whatever. So some of the complaints from the first gen owners were the car accelerated great, had a lot of torque, but it didn't handle. So when Dodge came out with Gen 2, which is the one that I'm driving, Dodge went, in my opinion, a little overboard. They made it a little too stiff, but there's no argument about the car. It handles. The car went from a 6.1 liter to a 6.4 liter. But one thing that they added was cylinder deactivation, which gave it better gas mileage. So the original car got 14 miles to the gallon in the city and 20 on the highway. And this car actually gets 14 miles in the city and 23 miles per gallon on the highway because of the cylinder deactivation. Larger engine, more horsepower, more torque, better fuel economy. Moving in the right direction, Dodge. So great deal. This car actually comes with 470 horsepower and 470 pound-feet of torque. So the 0 to 60 time is better. It goes 0 to 60 in 4.3 seconds versus the 4.8. And it covers the quarter mile in about 12.6 seconds, which is almost a second faster than the Gen 1. So what about this car makes it so special? Well, first of all, I have to say it's my car, so I think it's pretty special. But the options package that they decided to put on these cars, first and foremost, it is a four-door sedan. So they wanted to appeal to the masses and put the safety features on here, such as the adaptive cruise control, the blind spot detection, forward collision, things of that nature. So they made the car a little more livable. But some of the things that they did was really, really cool. Like, for instance, this car comes equipped with heated and cooled cup holders. Guys, I've driven a $150,000 Mercedes CLS 63 that didn't have those, or an S63, or the Lamborghini. What other car can you mention that has heated and cooled cup holders? Now, you might say, well, we would never use those. Well, guess what? I use them every day. Matter of fact, I'm cooling my Mountain Dew right now while I'm talking to you guys. So, some other things that they added is anyone that's an SRT owner knows that you now have SRT pages, which is great because what it does, it gives you a digital representation of gauges such as your intake temperature, your coolant temperature, your trans temperature, your oil temperature. It has a horsepower and a torque gauge, so at any RPM you can look at your gauge and say, well, I'm using 400 horsepower, or hey, I'm using 350 pound-feet of torque. So that's kind of cool. Has heated and cooled front seats, has heated back seats, the standard moonroof. This car in particular has the upgraded leather package. I'm not quite sure what it costs on this car, but I know on the new cars it's about a $5,000 option to get the red leather interior with the Alcantara center sections. Car has a very nice thick steering wheel to grasp from. Steering response, I believe, is pretty well in comparison to some of the other cars. I just recently had a Grand Sport Corvette that we drove, we owned for about a year. I've driven Camaro ZL1 and some of the other cars that are obviously faster than this car, lighter than this car, but this car is geared more toward family. And the great thing about this car is, versus a Camaro or the Challenger or even the Ford Mustang, is the room inside. This car is huge. Yeah, it's 4,300 pounds, but hey, I could put 4 people in here my size. And that for me is great because I'm 6'2". So, you know, if you've got a large family like I do, my wife is 5'10", my daughter's 5'11", and my son is 6 feet tall, what else are you going to put us all in? A minivan? I don't think so. Now, some of the complaints I have about this car. The car originally come on 20-inch wheels, 9-inch width. So they come with two 45-inch tires all the way around. On the Gen 2, they did the same thing. And I'm telling you guys, 245 is not enough. Matter of fact, on this car, I've got 275s. It still isn't enough. With traction control on, this car still has a hard problem launching without leaving about $75 worth of tire at the stoplight. So, hey guys, Dodge, you need to put bigger tires on the car, okay? Second thing is, the interior is great, but the seats are big. And when I say big, I mean they will fit a 300-pound guy. The bolstering, you can adjust it like you can on some of the newer cars, and the seats aren't quite as tight, so they don't hold you as well when you're going through the curves. Now personally, I've taken this car out on the Charlotte Roval, and for you that don't know what that is the Charlotte Oval and road track combined, so you get a good understanding of what the car will do. Honestly, 4,300-pound car, it performed better than I thought it would. Again, it's not a Corvette, but hey, it held its own. Some other things, you know, some parts of the interior are a little cheaper. One thing I can say though is when Fiat bought Dodge and got away from Daimler, the interior just sprung to life. I mean, now you have touch screens and you have 900-watt Harman Kardon stereo systems and all that kind of stuff. So, you know, they definitely made a step in the right direction. The car is a better quality than the Gen 1. But all in all, I'm pretty happy with the car. As far as this car is concerned, the only modifications that's been done is whoever had the car before me did a resonator delete, and that's about it. You know, I've upgraded the front brakes for taking it out on the track, but that's about it. This car has two different modes. It has Sport Track mode, and then it also has Comfort mode. So putting in a Sport Track mode is pretty much like eliminating the shocks altogether. It will literally shake your teeth out. Make sure your fillings and your crowns have good attachment, because once you put it in track mode, you're basically in a two-horse wagon. A very fast two-horse wagon, but nonetheless. Without further ado, I'll give you a little taste of what the car sounds like. AMGTC. Got to be a little careful. We're on a road in Mexico that actually has a speed limit. But the car accelerates pretty well. Again, it is not a Camaro or Corvette, but for the weight of this car and having 470 pound-feet of torque, it accelerates more like something that's got about 550 pound-feet of torque. So now this car registers 180. I don't know how fast it'll go. I've had it myself up to 153 on the back straight of Charlotte Motor Speedway. I can tell you, I don't think I want to be in this car if it's doing 180. No disrespect, Dodge, but I don't trust it that much. There's very few cars I actually know that I do trust to go that fast in. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take off from a stoplight so you guys can kind of hear what it sounds like from the start. And then I'll just basically wrap it up and then say stay tuned for more videos. There will be a Polaris XLR coming up. That's the three-wheeled motorcycle for you that don't know, and a 300C coming up pretty soon. But anyway, here we go. And fellas, that's with traction control on. I've tried it with traction control off, and basically, you know, you just might as well prepare to eat a sandwich and sit still for a while, because that's what's going to happen. As always, if there's any views, any car reviews that you'd like for me to do, please put them in the comments below. Again, I'll do my best. I'm not a miracle worker. If you're hoping for a Hurricane Performante, well, you're going to be waiting a while. Otherwise, we'll see you next time on Carport and Junkie. Again, this is Derek Miller. See you next time.